When the cameras started flashing and the cake was rolled out, nobody expected the scene to take such a shocking turn. Papoose, the loyal husband once admired for standing beside Remy Ma through her hardest years, was now all smiles, not with Remy, but with boxing champion Claressa Shields. It wasn't just a party, it wasn't just a cake. It was their first birthday celebration together. And the whispers in the crowd quickly turned into viral headlines across social media. Was this the moment Remy Ma's world finally came crashing down? The tears, the anger, and the betrayal all mixed together as fans watched the once powerful hip-hop couple collapse under the weight of scandal. But behind those tears, behind Remy's emotional breakdown, lies a story far more complicated than what meets the eye. And tonight, we uncover everything. The night was supposed to be a simple celebration, but what unfolded felt more like the climax of a reality TV drama. In a private lounge in New York, decorated with golden balloons and a 3-tier cake, Papoose and Claressa Shields walked in, together, laughing, holding hands, and surrounded by friends who couldn't stop recording the moment. This wasn't just another night out. It was their first birthday celebration together, a public declaration that whatever bond they shared was now strong enough to be celebrated in front of the world. For longtime hip-hop fans, the scene felt almost surreal. Papoose had built his reputation on loyalty. When Remy Ma served her prison sentence years ago, he stayed by her side, refusing to leave, even when other men in the industry mocked him. That loyalty became a symbol of black love, a reminder that relationships could survive even the toughest storms. But on this night, those same fans were left asking, where did that loyalty go? Remy Ma, according to insiders, wasn't even at the party. Sources close to her claim she found out about the birthday celebration through social media, the same way fans did. Imagine scrolling through your phone and seeing the person you loved, the one you thought would never betray you, celebrating in a room full of cheers but with someone else. The moment cut deep, and according to reports, Remy couldn't hold back her tears. She broke down, overwhelmed with humiliation and heartbreak. But the real twist: Claressa Shields wasn't just another woman in the spotlight. She's one of the most celebrated female boxers in the world, bold, outspoken, and fearless. Pairing her with Papoose created a shocking contrast, a rapper once admired for his quiet loyalty, now stepping into the spotlight with a woman who thrives on attention and power. Some fans saw it as a betrayal, others called it an upgrade. The debate lit up Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok within hours. Hashtags like #RemyMa, #PAPOOSE, #CLARESSA, Shields trended worldwide. Memes poured in, showing Remy Ma crying next to edited images of Papoose and Claressa holding cake knives like a married couple. Hip-hop blogs picked up the story immediately. One headline read, "Papoose finally moves on, but did he cross the line?" Another screamed, "Remy's tears tell the whole story." What made the situation worse was Papoose's demeanor at the party. Videos show him smiling ear to ear, cutting the cake with Claressa, and even giving a short toast. In his speech, he reportedly said, "Life is about new beginnings, and sometimes, you gotta celebrate the people who stand with you in your present, not your past." Those words hit like a bomb. Many interpreted it as a direct shot at Remy Ma, implying she belonged to his past, while Claressa was now his present. Remy's fans weren't having it. They flooded the comments with angry responses. "How dare you disrespect Remy like that after all she sacrificed for you?" One user wrote. Another said, "This isn't loyalty, this is clout chasing." Meanwhile, Claressa's supporters defended her fiercely, arguing that she wasn't the villain, and that if Papoose chose her, it meant something in Remy and Papoose's marriage had already been broken. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered about ongoing tension between Remy and Papoose that had been building for months. Some alleged that Papoose felt unappreciated, overshadowed by Remy's comeback career and her busy schedule. Others speculated that Claressa, with her fiery energy and ability to command attention, offered Papoose the admiration he craved. Whatever the truth, the birthday celebration was no longer just about cake and candles, it was about lines being drawn in the sand. Remy Ma's tears became symbolic. To her supporters, they represented betrayal. To critics, they symbolized karma. Many recalled the controversies surrounding Remy herself, pointing out her past clashes and mistakes, suggesting this was a taste of her own medicine. The narratives grew messier by the hour, and the party footage only fanned the flames by the time the night ended. What should have been a happy celebration turned into one of the most talked about scandals in hip-hop culture. And as the dust settled, one question remained. Was this truly the end of Remy and Papoose's story? Or just another messy chapter in a relationship that had already survived the impossible? The morning after the party, the internet was ablaze. Clips of Papoose and Claressa blowing out candles together flooded every major platform, while gossip pages reposted Remy Ma's emotional response. For many, this wasn't just another celebrity scandal, it felt like the collapse of a hip-hop fairy tale that fans had rooted for since the mid-2000s. Remy and Papoose were once the blueprint of loyalty. When she was locked up, Papoose wore his faithfulness like a badge of honor. He waited, stayed present, and even proposed marriage while she was behind bars. That devotion inspired millions who admired the idea that love could survive anything. But as the party footage went viral, the same fans who once celebrated Papoose as hip-hop's most loyal husband now felt betrayed. Some even started calling him hypocritical and cold-hearted. But here's the deeper layer. Claressa Shields wasn't just another woman who happened to be close to Papoose. Their connection had been building quietly for months, spotted in small ways by those who paid attention. From guest appearances at events to casual Instagram lives where they shared laughs. There were hints long before the birthday party. But, until now, those whispers were dismissed as speculation. The celebration made it official. Inside the party, guests described the atmosphere as electric, almost rebellious. Claressa stood tall, rocking a diamond-studded dress that screamed confidence. She wasn't hiding. She wasn't playing second to anyone. At one point, she reportedly leaned over to Papoose and whispered something that made him laugh so hard, the entire room turned to look. Their chemistry was undeniable, the type that doesn't need explanation. Meanwhile, Remy was reportedly at home, blindsided. Insiders close to her revealed she had confronted Papoose earlier in the week about rumors of his growing closeness with Claressa. According to these sources, Papoose downplayed it, insisting it was nothing serious. To then see him so openly celebrating with Claressa in a room full of cameras felt like the ultimate slap in the face. That's why the tears flowed, not just from heartbreak, but from the public humiliation of it all. The cultural conversation got even louder when celebrities chimed in. Some rappers publicly defended Papoose, claiming everyone has the right to move on if a relationship is no longer working. Others sided with Remy, reminding the world of her loyalty to him during her hardest years. The divide wasn't just about romance, it was about principles, loyalty, and respect in a world where public image matters almost as much as private happiness. What struck fans most, however, was the way Claressa leaned into the attention. Unlike many who might have downplayed the drama, Claressa doubled down. The very next morning, she reposted clips from the party on her Instagram story, captioning one video, "Real ones celebrate real love." That single sentence sparked outrage. Critics accused her of intentionally adding salt to Remy's wounds, while supporters praised her confidence and refusal to hide. The discussion then shifted from just Papoose and Remy to the larger question: how much of this was personal, and how much was performance for the public eye? In the entertainment industry, the line between reality and image often blurs. Was this new relationship authentic? Or was it part of a bigger move to stay relevant in a culture that thrives on shock value and scandal? As the debates continued, Remy Ma's silence became louder than words. She didn't post, she didn't comment. She didn't clap back. For a woman known for her fiery personality and unfiltered words, this silence shocked many. To some, it signaled strength, choosing dignity over drama. To others, it felt like defeat, like she had been broken in a way the world had never seen before. Behind the scenes, however, reports suggested that Remy was devastated. Friends claimed she cried for hours, replaying the videos, struggling to understand how the man she once called her king could so easily stand beside another woman, celebrating life as if their years together meant nothing. And yet, there's another side to the story. Some sources hinted that Remy and Papoose's marriage had been under strain long before this. Arguments, distance, and unspoken frustrations had reportedly been building for months. If true, then the birthday celebration wasn't the start of the end, it was the result of an end that had been happening quietly, away from cameras. Still, fans couldn't shake the image of Remy's tears. For years, she had represented resilience, the woman who overcame prison, industry setbacks, and personal struggles to reclaim her throne in hip-hop. To see her broken, not by the industry, but by love, felt like a wound her fans carried with her. The party may have been just one night, but its ripple effects were massive. The love triangle between Remy, Papoose, and Claressa wasn't just gossip anymore. It had become a cultural moment, sparking conversations about loyalty, betrayal, and the price of moving on too quickly in the public eye. And as the world waited for Remy to speak, one thing was clear: no matter what happened next, the birthday party would go down as the night everything changed. The images from that night replayed endlessly across the internet: Papoose and Claressa laughing together, sharing cake, and exchanging smiles as if the world beyond that room didn't exist. For fans, friends, and critics, it wasn't just a party, it was the ultimate statement of where Papoose's loyalties now lay. And for Remy Ma, it was the deepest cut yet, a wound that went beyond betrayal and reached into her very identity as an artist, a wife, and a woman who had built her image on strength. But behind the flashing lights and viral clips, a deeper narrative was unfolding. Many industry insiders whispered that Claressa's presence in Papoose's life wasn't just about affection, it was about legacy. Claressa Shields, with her global boxing titles and media spotlight, represented a new lane, a new empire in the making. Papoose, ever the strategist, might have seen in her the opportunity to rebuild his brand, to tie his name to a rising force beyond music. For years, he had lived in the shadow of Remy's fame. Now, in Claressa, he found both companionship and a chance to shine in his own right. Still, the backlash was real. Fans who had worshipped the love story of Remy and Papoose felt betrayed. Social media erupted with hashtags like #JusticeForRemy and #PAPOOSE exposed. Comment sections overflowed with anger. How could he do her like this? And Remy held him down for years. The same loyalty that once defined him was now the very thing fans accused him of throwing away. Meanwhile, Remy Ma's silence spoke volumes. She didn't release an official statement, but close friends hinted that she had broken down in tears when she saw the videos. For a woman who had fought her way through prison, industry rivalries, and the constant pressure of being a female rapper in a male-dominated world, this was one of her hardest battles. It wasn't something she could rap her way out of, it was personal, raw, and painfully human. Media outlets began spinning the narrative into a full-blown war. TMZ released exclusives suggesting that Remy was preparing to drop a response track, a diss aimed not only at Claressa but at Papoose himself. Hip-hop blogs debated whether Remy should even engage, or if silence would preserve her dignity. On the other hand, Claressa remained defiant. In interviews, she insisted she had no ill will toward Remy, and that the relationship between her and Papoose was genuine, not manufactured for attention. But the damage was done. The public had already taken sides. As the weeks passed, the story only grew larger. Pap and Claressa were seen together more frequently. From training sessions in Claressa's gym to intimate dinners in New York. Pap even posted cryptic captions like "Real recognize real" and "Sometimes loyalty means knowing when to walk away." Each post sparked thousands of comments, many accusing him of gaslighting Remy's pain. But here's the twist: some fans began to support Papoose and Claressa, arguing that maybe Remy wasn't as innocent as she appeared. Old rumors resurfaced about her alleged disloyalty, with gossip pages hinting that Pap's shift wasn't sudden but the result of years of hidden cracks in their marriage, whether true or not. The speculation gave Papoose and Claressa breathing room to present themselves as a united front. The hip-hop community itself was split. Some rappers threw their support behind Remy, reminding the world of how fiercely she had repped for Pap while he was struggling to find his place in the industry. Others, however, saw Papoose's move as a bold step out of Remy's shadow, a chance to redefine himself not as her sidekick, but as his own man. Then came the birthday aftermath, an exclusive interview where Claressa revealed details of her bond with Papoose. She spoke not as a rival, but as someone who admired his dedication, his mind for business, and his role as a father. For the first time, the world heard her side of the story. She insisted there was no malice toward Remy and that her relationship with Pap was built on respect and understanding. But for Remy, words weren't enough. Insiders reported that she had begun recording in the studio, fueled by anger and heartbreak. Close friends described her energy as raw, unfiltered, and more dangerous than ever. The idea of a diss track wasn't just a rumor anymore, it was becoming a reality. And fans knew if Remy Ma decided to unleash, it could be one of the most powerful responses hip-hop had ever seen. By now, the narrative had become bigger than the three individuals at the center. It wasn't just about love or betrayal, it was about loyalty, power, and how public relationships in hip-hop shape careers. Papoose and Claressa became a symbol of moving forward, while Remy represented resilience and heartbreak. The culture was watching, waiting to see who would blink first. Yet, even in her pain, Remy had an undeniable advantage. The people, fans flooded her socials with love, telling her she deserved better, urging her to keep her head high. For many, she remained the queen who had carried herself through storms before, and they believed she would rise again. Still, one thing was clear: the birthday party wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of a saga that would reshape the image of Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa forever. Whether through music, interviews, or social media, the story was far from over. And deep down, everyone knew this wasn't just a family feud, it was hip-hop history unfolding before their eyes. And now, the question remains, where does this story go from here? Remy Ma stands at a crossroads, torn between heartbreak and the fire to reclaim her voice. Papoose and Claressa continue to flaunt their bond, but the shadows of controversy follow them everywhere. Will Remy unleash a diss track that shakes the culture to its core, or will she rise above it all, proving that her strength is bigger than betrayal? This isn't just drama, it's history in the making. Hip-hop has always thrived on raw emotion, loyalty, and the battles that push artists beyond their limits. And right now, we're witnessing a chapter no one expected. But what do you think? Is Papoose wrong for turning his back on Remy? Or is Claressa simply the future he chose for himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe, and stay tuned because this storm is just beginning.